change your mind, if you change your mind.
Your Mother and Mine really made me think of how the outcome of A Single Pair of Wolves became, knowing full well that the story that Garnet said really made her a lot more emotionally manipulative, and her separation in the aftermath of A Single Pair of Wolves really made me think about her character a lot more, because in this episode she really liked meeting the newer gems that were the off-colors. Since I've gotten to this point involving Rose's character, I have to admit that this entire backstory centering around Garnet telling the story to the off-colors and Lars, it really made me feel like that every time that we see Rose in this, it's gonna change in A Single Pair of Wolves. And judging of how this episode aired either a month or two before A Single Pair of Wolves, it really gave me the impression of what has yet to come on May 2018, which is where A Single Pair of Wolves has aired. This episode's lifespan before A Single Pair of Wolves came out really had a lot when it came to Garnet expressing how much Rose really cared about everyone, even though we all know she was Pink Diamond all along. Like, I know I've stated that multiple times during this marathon, but at the same time, I've talked about the episode 3 years ago, and even if I did revisit it, I'm pretty sure I would have nothing new to add, knowing forward that that episode has divided a fan base that really liked the ideal, but at the same time they didn't. But when it comes to the off-colors dealing with how Rose wasn't bad as they thought, and then when they changed their minds when it came to Garnet's story, only to realize that the truth came out that Rose was Pink Diamond all along, I have to admit that the sequence centering around Steven's dream from Jungle Moon, where he was Pink Diamond for a moment, I have to admit that is actually really important information to center around who Pink Diamond really is, not to mention the truth behind it. For me personally, for how the off-colors didn't get the screen time while they escape with Lars from Homeworld, I really feel like that what they had to offer in this episode while listening to the story would have been a lot more spoiler-driven if they did all about Rose when it comes to them escaping. And if that was the case, maybe I would forgive the decision to make the off-screen thing with Lars and the off-colors escaping from Homeworld. But at the same time, it's just only a little, because you can still do different things by preventing them to know who Rose Quartz were when it came to the whole situation involving her and Pink Diamond. Not to mention that it's still focused involving Lars' character. I really feel like that every time I think about these decisions and think about these episodes being connected with each other when it comes to Lars and the off-colors, I can get the impression that they literally had to do what they could when it comes to their own point of views on making the story. But believe me, sometimes these episodes with a different direction can make them slightly better over the results that we ended up getting. Like I said, the last episodes were really difficult for me to get into. So when it comes to this episode, it's not on the same levels as Laws of the Stars, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure it would have been untouched or unchanged when it came to having an episode centered around Laws and the off-colors escaping Homeworld. At times, I would see that the backstory is a lot more important when it comes to how Rose and Pink Diamond together is literally just trying to do stuff for herself and not thinking about anyone else other than having fun with other people and using them, which is still manipulative. But whenever I look at it, it really feels like that they wanted to give us a glimpse on who White Diamond is, since we knew Blue Diamond and Yellow Diamond, and yet there was White Diamond. And judging of how Pink Diamond has been shown a few times, well mainly a couple when it came to the Jungle Moon episode, they literally wanted to make this review of White Diamond mostly the highlight when it came to her, along with Yellow and Blue Diamond using their powers on off. And judging of how everything changed when it came to Steven and the Crystal Gems fixing everything, this episode didn't feel special when it aired back in April before A Single Pair Rose came out a month later. I'm gonna be real with you that the point of view that I've seen from Garnet on what she thinks about Rose and how it helped her, I can get the impression that the aftermath of A Single Pair Rose really changed Garnet so badly that the rush development and production after A Single Pair Rose really affected the qualities involving Garnet's character. Because believe me when I say this, when I get into the wedding episode, I really have mixed opinions on it, knowing full well that people wanted it to be a full wedding episode rather than a wedding episode and a battle against Yellow and Blue Diamond. As for Laws and the Off-Colors, with them having one more episode remaining Laws before A Single Pair Rose and probably the entire season, I really got the impression that they probably wanted to do more involving the characters when it comes to the battle against Yellow and Blue Diamond, but unfortunately with the rush production, they literally had to let them out in order to have Laws meet Sadie at Change Your Mind, which for me personally sums up a lot that what they're doing in this episode didn't mean much when they don't do much. I get that the destination that they're going to, which is all this way farther away, but believe me when I say this, is for how Laws ended up getting more development than the other Beach City citizens really sums up a lot that this really feels really disappointing than overwhelming. Not really a lot to say about this episode, but believe me, for how this episode aged, in between the Steven and Connie stuff getting in the way, along with before A Single Pair Rose, this episode really had a month and a half of the quality it had before a divide happened in the fanbase. I'm giving this episode a 7.25 out of 10.